please hit that subscribe button. Hey everybody, better suited to win the Stanley Cup this season. If you are new to the channel, Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins.
Locked on and he scored! And we're live.
Hey everybody, I'm back again here with another collab video talking about teams heading into the 2020 playoffs. And I am joined today by Windy City Hawkey. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. He's got a great hockey channel of his own covering the Chicago Blackhawks. Huge Blackhawks fan. Link to his channel will be in the description. As always, guys, you're definitely going to want to check that out. But thanks again for being here, and we're going to be talking Blackhawks hockey.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so first thing I want to talk about, I always like to look back before we look forward. The Blackhawks this season, it's been an interesting last few years for Chicago. They were on the top of the hockey world for a while, winning three Stanley Cups in the early to mid parts of the 2010s, and then you saw it kind of catch up to them. The salary cap, players aging, it all caught up, and we've seen the last couple of years they've kind of gone into not a full rebuild, but kind of a quick rebuild type mode where they're keeping, guys like Keith, Kane, and Taves, but they're still trying to retool around those players. And this year they were a team that probably weren't going to make the playoffs if the season had continued normally. They had to pass quite a few teams if they were going to make a late season run. But they're certainly not a bad team. They are not even close to being down with the Detroits and Ottawas and New Jerseys and those guys. So they're kind of one of those stuck in the middle teams right now with some good young players coming in. But what do you think of them this year and just the year that Chicago had?
Well, the season was a season of up and downs from the fact that we saw young players make their debuts like Kirby Dach, Adam Boqvist, and Dominic Kubalik, together. But yeah, we saw young players making their debuts. We saw the older players kind of have a regress in comparison to what they had the season prior, and like Jonathan Toews, who had this was the first time of his career not making the 20-goal mark on his career, which is insane to think.
Yeah.
So it was a season of up and downs with a lot of injuries, a lot of growth pains with the rookies. It was just one of those type of runs. Yep.
All right. So definitely a couple players. Well, Kirby Dach is definitely a player I want to talk about.
Okay.
He's I really like Kirby Dach. Obviously, he didn't have an explosive year or anything like that, but most young players don't. He's a guy that I think is going to develop into a very good player. What do you think of him this year? He was a very high draft pick, but he came in, and I think he's shown a lot of potential.
Kirby, he had a great rookie campaign in comparison to who got drafted ahead of him, like Jack Hughes and Capo Kakko. Kirby actually had a better season, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
He started off the season in Rockford for about week because he did suffer a concussion during the Traverse City tournament for the prospect tournament. Then he came in and made his debut and started playing well. He had the up and downs for being a rookie. You see that out of rookies.
Absolutely.
But he did show that he can grow into a good power forward into this league soon. I feel like I saw it in him for a few games, and I saw a few rookie mistakes, which happens all the time. But Kirby Dach is starting to show that that's why the Blackhawks drafted him at 3rd overall.
Yep. So looking ahead now, the Chicago they get the pleasure of playing the Edmonton Oilers in the play-in round. Obviously, they're the lower seed. Edmonton this year, Edmonton's a hard team to figure out, I think, because they're so dependent on McDavid and Draisaitl, and then they're just a big question mark in a lot of other ways. But how does Chicago match up against a team like Edmonton, and could they pull off the 12-5 upset here?
Honestly, if Corey Crawford does play, the Hawks do have a chance in upsetting the Oilers. The reason why I'm saying if Corey Crawford does play is because today, as we are doing this video, was first day of training camp, and he did not show up to training camp for unfit play. So
Yep.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, no
But
one does.
the Blackhawks do match up pretty well against this Edmonton Oilers team. The fourth line in general, the Blackhawks always match up against McDavid and Draisaitl.
Mhm.
David Camp always seems to get under McDavid's head, and he does not play his strongest game. The Hawks beat the Oilers 2-1 in the season series, which not bad if you ask me. And they had close games all around. So I think with it being a 5-game series, anything can happen, and we could see an upset by the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be a fun series to watch, that's for sure. I think that those two teams matching up is going to be very, very interesting to watch. If Chicago is going to pull off the upset or even, make an even deeper run into the playoffs, who are some players on the Blackhawks that really need to step their game up and make sure they're playing their best for this team to be able to win?
Well, for instance, Jonathan Toews would need to step up his play after having probably his worst season of his career.
Mm-hmm.
And Patrick Kane, he had another great season, and I can see him stepping up his play because he's back in the playoffs. He does well when it comes to playoff hockey.
Yep.
And a player like Alex DeBrincat, who was the teammate of Connor McDavid in Erie, he could really step up and want to prove himself after having, honestly, his worst season since coming into the NHL. He had a great rookie year, a great sophomore season, and then his third year into the league, he had a season that he did not play so well. I can see DeBrincat needing to step up his play, and he can probably do it and help this Hawks team prevail over the Oilers.
All right, awesome. So one last thing I have to ask is how deep do you think this team can legitimately go? How far can this team make it in these playoffs this year?
Honestly, it depends on Corey Crawford if he is in net.
Yep.
So if he's in net, I could see them make a run and go probably past the second round, knowing how Crawford is when it comes to playoff hockey. But if he's not in net and they have to play Malcolm Subban, I could see the Blackhawks getting eliminated by the Oilers.
Yeah. Okay. That definitely.
So it's all on Corey Crawford at this point.
Yeah. In goaltending, as we see every year in the playoffs, goaltending is absolutely huge.
Yeah.
With that, that's going to do it for this video. I want to thank you again for coming on. It's great to have you, and always good to talk hockey with some other people on the channel. Remember, guys, check out Windy City Hawkey on YouTube. Link will be in the description. You guys can all check out his channel and get some great Blackhawks coverage. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, links to a Patreon and merchandise account are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.